from Toronto, Canada. I'm a retired professor of history and security studies. I taught in various countries, including Australia, Singapore, Bangladesh, Canada, and the United States. I was a professor of security studies at the Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies in Honolulu, Hawaii. So I'm a retired professor, and I'm now a human rights activist. I am talking to you from my own YouTube channel, Taj Hashmi's World, and this message is for every democracy-loving, freedom-loving, human rights-loving people in the world, especially those whose voice matters. I'm appealing them to liberate Bangladesh from the tyranny of this proto-fascist Hasina regime, who is in power for the last 15 years, longer than what Hitler managed to do. And today I'm urging you to free Khaleda, free Bangladesh, and liberate Bangladesh, restore democracy in Bangladesh. And it's an appeal to every freedom-loving individuals and entities in the world. I want you all to come forward to free Khaleda now. She is what Nelson Mandela and Aung San Suu Kyi represented in the recent past. Khaleda Zia is the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, currently the most popular leader in Bangladesh. She is possibly dying in prison. She is not getting any proper medical care for the last 6 years. She's serving the jail term on trumped up charges. She is said to have attempted to embezzle $200,000 donated by the government of Kuwait to an orphanage named after her late husband, Ziaur Rahman, Zia Orphanage. The trumped up charges not only involves her in an attempt to embezzle $200,000, but included 9 accomplices. Khaleda Zia, along with 9 other people, tried to embezzle $200,000 while she was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh up to 2006. And the most important and interesting aspect of the charge is that the money is still intact in bank, and it has multiplied since it was deposited in a bank in Bangladesh 4 times. So now money is still there, but Khaleda attempted to embezzle it. That's why she's serving an 18-year jail term. Isn't it unbelievable? And one of the charges was that she threw a petrol bomb on a bus in 2014, about 100 kilometers away from Dhaka. So you all know the basis of these fabricated charges. And that is, she attempted to embezzle $200,000 along with 9 other people, and that she is alleged to have thrown a petrol bomb on a bus while Hasina was the Prime Minister in 2014. And nothing could be proven in Hasina's kangaroo court. As you know, with the so-called war crime tribunal, there was Skype conversation between a sitting judge and someone in Belgium, and the conversation led us to the fact that the whole charges are trumped up and false. Despite that, so many people were hanged and more are likely to be hanged and killed by this terrorist regime. Bangladesh, in short, is now a state sponsored terrorist state. Judges are corrupt and incompetent, and police, bureaucracy, armed forces, along with the judiciary, have been coerced into submission. So, virtually, Bangladesh has become a police state. And I'm thankful to around 200 renowned people in the world who recently wrote an open letter to the illegitimate Prime Minister Hasina to stop harassing Dr. Muhammad Yunus of Grameen Bank, founder of Grameen Bank. And they include Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Al Gore, Ban Ki-moon, and more than 100 Nobel laureates. That has not perturbed the Hasina regime. She and her cronies are saying that Barack Obama to Ban Ki-moon were all bribed by this corrupt moneylender, Dr. Muhammad Yunus. And Hasina is still in power. But I appreciate your taking initiative to let the world know that tyranny in one country amounts to tyranny everywhere. I'm urging now to President Biden, my Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Ban Ki-moon, and all freedom-loving people in the world. Please do something, raise your voice, and support the cause of democracy and freedom and human rights in Bangladesh, which we have been struggling to establish from inside and outside Bangladesh. I'm a Bangladeshi Canadian. There are thousands of people like me who are raising their voice, and hundreds of thousands of people have been suffering under this tyrannical rule. The main opposition party of Khaleda Zia's BNP, hundreds of thousands of people are implicated in false trumped-up charges. And many are absconding, many have run away and in prison. And enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killing have not stopped in Hasina's Bangladesh. And Khaleda is now the most important icon of democracy, freedom, and human rights in Bangladesh. She has become another Nelson Mandela, and she represents truth against lie, justice against injustice, freedom against unfreedom, democracy against fascism and tyranny. So she deserves your attention, I think, more than what Dr. Yunus deserves. I respect Dr. Yunus, but Khaleda Zia has been suffering much more than what Dr. Yunus has been going through. And Bangladesh has already become a Myanmar. You know what Myanmar represents. And is an upholder of brutal, corrupt rule under Hasina, under the aegis of China's Xi Jinping and India's Narendra Modi. And if Hasina remains in power, she continues, then I'm afraid Bangladesh is going to be the next North Korea of South Asia. And I don't think that anybody in the free world will be enthused about having another North Korea in South Asia. Khaleda remains in prison, Bangladesh will remain unfree. If Khaleda dies in prison, democracy dies in Bangladesh and everywhere. I paraphrase what Martin Luther King Jr. once said, that tyranny in one country represents tyranny across the whole world. So this is what is pertinent today. Tyranny in Bangladesh, bad governance in Bangladesh, plundering of people's wealth amounts to the same tyrannical things everywhere in the world. Please save Khaleda. Please free Khaleda to save and free Bangladesh. I thank you all in anticipation. I believe you would be proactive. You will write another letter and go beyond writing letters because Hasina needs to be pushed out of power. And I urge the Joe Biden government, the Joe Biden administration to come forward to do something proactive. Mere lip service won't save Bangladesh, let alone freedom. As a student of history, I remind you the free world must not commit the same mistakes which they committed in 1939. British Prime Minister Chamberlain signed a peace treaty with Adolf Hitler, and he was complicit that we have got a peace treaty with Hitler. Hitler is not going to invade United Kingdom. Same blunder was committed by Joseph Stalin of USSR. He also signed sort of a peace understanding with Joseph Hitler. And we know on 7th December, we know in 1941, Hitler invaded Russia. So there is no room to be complacent, no room to trust a tyrannical fascist ruler like Sheikh Hasina. And you know that elections were rigged thoroughly in 2018. The elections of 2008, 2014, and 2018, which was the worst election in the history of Bangladesh or maybe in the world. Police, ruling party thugs stuffed ballot papers in favor of the ruling party, Awami League party, the night before the polls were held on 30th December 2018. So it goes without saying that Hasina is the most corrupt and brutal dictator the world has ever seen after the demise of Hitler, Mussolini, Saddam Hussein, and their likes. So please come forward, do something to save democracy and to save Bangladesh. And the first step in this regard would be freedom of Khaleda Zia. She must be freed. She must be sent abroad for treatment. And all illegal charges against her son, Tariq Rahman, who is now the acting chairman of the opposition party, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, BNP, and his wife are barred from coming to Bangladesh. Please do something because no